Resolution 1603, a resolution confirming the appointments for 2016. The following appointments are made, and again, the way the system works, under our borough form of government, there's a lot of confusion, so for purposes of educational clarity and disclosure, the only direct appointments legally that a mayor can make are to the planning board without interference of council, except for the council rep, which is a representative of the council. All of the other appointments which I am offering are actually appointments that have been made recommendations to me by the majority of the council. So they are my recommendations, but I really don't control those recommendations. But the following appointments are made: to the borough administrator, qualified purchasing agent, fire marshal, community development representative, a municipal housing liaison, Stanley J. Sickles, municipal clerk, public information officer, and registrar, Pamela Borghi, deputy municipal clerk, Bonnie K. Thomas, administrative secretary, Doreen Hoffman, treasurer, controller of water department, chief financial officer, and parking utility collector, Eugenia Polos, administrative officer, director of planning, Glenn Carter, PP, director of senior citizen center, Jacqueline Reynolds, municipal coordinator to the office on aging, Stephen Heck, the council representative to the senior citizen center, Cindy Burnham, the council representative to the municipal housing liaison, Kathleen Horgan, the health officer, David Henry, MPH, the director and superintendent of public works, the director of parking and community development, our alternate, Clifford Kane, human resources manager, Eva Viviano, the director of parks and recreation, Charles Hoffman, municipal court for a three-year term to end on 12/31/2016 is William Himmelman. And just a little footnote, even though we make this appointment every year, Judge Himmelman is the longest serving municipal court judge in the history of the municipal courts since recordation in the state of New Jersey. And we are blessed that he's still serving on the court. And he still has his wits and energy, and he still runs at the Brookdale track every single afternoon. The benefit that Uncle Bill gives to all of the residents of Red Bank is that since he is retired, he's only receiving $15,000 a year in that job. He can't make more than that. Whereas that same position would have cost the taxpayers about $60,000. So we get him for a bargain. But thank you, Judge Himmelman. Court Administrator Kathleen Gerber, Deputy Court Administrator Susan Milnes, Deputy Court Administrator number 2 Ellen Chuck, Tax Assessor Mitchell Elias, Tax and Utility Collector Ashleisha Deshpande, Chief of Police Darren McConnell. Red Bank Emergency Management Committee Coordinator.
Excuse me, Mayor, we do need to add our IT director to this list. I've noticed
Let me
that.
finish number 1.
Okay.
Okay. Red Bank Emergency Management Committee Coordinator for 3 years, Thomas J. Welsh. The Deputy Coordinator, Ernest Van Pelt. The Deputy Coordinator, Stanley Sickles. Deputy Coordinator for Operations, Alan Soden. Deputy Coordinator for the ETS teams, Chris Soden. Deputy Coordinator, Police Liaison, Michael Frazee. Fire Chief, Chris Soden. Police Coordinator, Darren McConnell. Police Representative, Eric Ovescio. Communications OEM, Alan Soden Sr., Hazardous Material Technician, Joseph Forgione, Hazardous Material Specialist, Robert Heyer, Emergency Health Care, Christian Schultz, Public Utilities, Clifford Kane, Welfare Officer, Jacqueline Reynolds, Public Information Officer, Pamela Borghi, Information Technology, Joseph Agliore, Information Technology Assistant, Vincent Light, and Finance Officer, Eugenia Polos. That is for the Emergency Management Committee. For board appointments, direct appointment by the mayor only for Class 2 members on the Planning Board for 1 year to expire 12/31/16. Stanley J. Sickles for Class 3 member for 1 year to 12/31/16. Representative of the majority of the council would be Michael Whalen. Class 4 member for 4 years to expire 12/31/19, Louis Demento. Class 4 member for 4 years to expire 12/31/19, Arthur V. Murphy III. Alternate number 2 for 2 years to expire 12/31/17, Linda Cohen. And mayor's alternate for 1 year to expire 12/31/16, Juanita Lewis. The following appointments are made by me with the consent and recommendation of council, obviously. The Environmental Commission, 3 years to 12/31/18, Laura Darty. 3 years to 12/31/18, Helen Bliskin. 3 years to 12/18/18, Boris Kaufman. Alternate number 2 for 2 years to 12/31/17, Travers Martin. Council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16, Cindy Burnham. To the Zoning Board of Adjustment for 4 years to 12/31/19, Eileen Hogan. 4 years to 12/31/19, Christine Irwin. Alternate number 2 for 2 years to 12/31/17, Richard Stout. Alternate number 4 for 2 years to 12/31/17, Steve Barcelona. To the Parks and Recreation Committee for 3 years to 12/31/18, Scott McBride. 3 years to 12/31/18, Chan Irwin. Alternate number 1 for 2 years to 12/31/17, Lindsay Prato. And council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16, Mark Taylor. To the Board of Health, this is a board which the board will have to take certain statutory actions this year because its useful function has been eliminated, so we don't no longer have a municipal health officer. So we will deal with that. No sense in making appointments to it, but the continuation of the existing members would probably be adequate, and that would be for 3 years to 12/31/18, Michael Natelli. And the secretary for 1 year would be our clerk, Pamela Borghi, and the council representative for 1 year would be Councilwoman Burnham. Moving on to the Construction Board of Appeals. The alternate plumbing subcode for 4 years would be vacant at the present time. The fire protection subcode for 4 years to 12/31/19 would be Fred Migliaccio. The certified fire official for 4 years to 12/31/19 would be Joseph Marachi. The electrical subcode official for 4 years to 12/31/19, George Sela. The plumbing subcode for 4 years to 12/31/19, Howard Odell. And the secretary for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Dina Anastasio. To the Library Board for 5 years to 12/31/20, Father Alberto Tamayo. For 5 years to 12/31/20, Beth Hanratty. For 5 years to 12/31/17, the unexpired term would be Ethel Brandon. Mayor's alternate for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Ann Chabatoni. And the council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Councilwoman Horgan. For the Human Relations Advisory Council for 3 years to 12/31/18, Michael Clancy. 3 years to 12/31/18, Sean DeSoma. Alternate number 1 for 3 years to 12/31/18, Ashley Homefield. Alternate number 2 for 3 years to 12/31/16 would be Dr. Michael Gordon. Council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Councilman Whalen. For Historic Preservation Commission, 3 years to 12/31/18 will be Gilda Rogers. Alternate number 1 for 3 years to 12/31/18, Kelly Coldwell. And the council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Councilman Ziprich. To the Shade Tree Committee, for 3 years to 12/31/18, Remedios Quiros. For 3 years to 12/31/18, Michael Kusberg. And the council representative for 1 year would be Councilman Ziprich. By council nomination to the Rent Leveling Board will be for 3 years, 12/31/18, Ryan Howard. 3 years to 12/31/18, Gail Solar. Board Secretary for 1 year to 12/31/16, Debbie Hall. And the council liaison to 12/31/16, Councilwoman Corrigan. To the River Center Board, the mayoral representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Arthur V. Murphy. The council representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Councilman Whalen. The citizen representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Brian Hanlon, and the citizen representative for 1 year to 12/31/16 will be Scott Rochard. To the Navesink River Municipalities Committee for 1 year would be to 12/31/16. All of them are 12/31/16. Will be Carol Popper, Brian Irwin, and Councilwoman Burnham. To the Housing Authority for 5 years, council appointment will be Michael Clancy. The council committees for 2016 are constituted as follows. For the finance, And personnel committees would be Linda Schwabenbauer, Councilwoman Schwabenbauer as chair, Mark Taylor and Kathleen Horgan members, Public Safety, Fire and Police, Councilman Whalen, Commissioner Linda Schwabenbauer and Mark Taylor. Public Utilities for street lighting, garbage, water, and sewer, Councilman Edward Zipprich as chair, Mark Taylor and Cindy Burnham. Code Enforcement, Environmental Control, Health, Welfare, and Building Codes, Cindy Burnham chair, Edward Zipprich and Michael Whalen. Parks and Recreation, Mark Taylor as chair, Kathleen Horgan and Linda Schwabenbauer. Education and Technology, Kathleen Horgan chair, Edward Zipprich and Linda Schwabenbauer. And Parking Committee, Michael Whalen chair, Cindy Burnham and Edward Zipprich. In addition, there will be a confirmation of the officer appointment of Joseph Fragliore as the Director of Information and Technology Department for the Borough. With that additional amendment, it was not on the printed, everything else is as the council has resolved it. And is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?